Welcome to week number 4. We have a ton of stuff to cover, so let's just dig into it. All right, we can start on my computer. Let's go. So here's what we're going to cover in today's video. First of all, the content in this module, then the goal, important things to remember, and then a summary at the end. As always, make sure that you subscribe and follow me on Instagram as well for super important updates regarding the course. Share the course as well. I need you guys' help. You know this by now. Now let's start a revolution and change people's lives together. A slight warning though, this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video, don't skip around, don't fast forward. And if you haven't watched module number 1, 2, and 3 before you watch this video, then you have to go back and do all of the work previous to this one. You cannot jump in certain different modules in this course. You have to take it from the beginning till the end, watch all of the videos in order, and implement and take action on everything as well. A pro tip to save yourself some time, you can watch this video in double speed if you want to. Now, let's begin with the content. So the content of module 4 right here, right? It begins with this welcoming video that you're watching right now, where we're going to cover what we're going to talk about and some basics about sales here in the Sales Authority week, essentially, right, or module. Then in the next video, we're going to set up your pitch deck. So we're going to create your pitch deck and explain to you what that is. Then we're going to discuss spin selling. Spin selling is a sales methodology, essentially. It stands for, it's basically different questions that you ask on a sales call. So it's S stands for situation questions, P stands for problem, I stands for implication, and N stands for need payoff. So we basically ask questions, then we do our pitch deck to close SMMA or SNMA clients, right? Then we have a video on the sales script and on tracking as well. So I'm going to give you access to our exact sales script that we use so that you can modify to your business, and also give you a sales tracking sheet so that you can track your sales calls are going to be super important. Then we're going to discuss contracts and payments. Then we're going to show you exactly what happens like after you've actually signed a client and you've received the payment, what happens then? Well, then you need to onboard them. So we're going to show you everything regarding the onboarding. Then we're going to talk about sales role playing, which is super powerful. So even before you get your first client, you can start to role play with other people in the community to actually train how to do your spin questions and how to do your pitch deck so that you get comfortable doing it before your actual real sales call, right? And then the final video in this week or in this module is going to be called client retention. So actually, how do you keep your clients for the long term? Because you don't want to churn and burn through a ton of different clients every single month, but you want to gain a client and then keep that client for years. It's the easiest, it's the best. That's how he makes more money and have less stress and all of that good stuff. So we have 8 videos here in the Sales Authority module. I'm basically laying out everything. I'm not holding anything back, and I've been given this extreme amount of thought for the past weeks and months and years since I started, really, so that I'm giving you everything that you need essentially to start generating and closing new clients and keeping them forever, essentially. So I hope you're pumped about this module. It's going to be epic. All right, the goal, let's dig into it. So the goal with this module is to become comfortable with doing high ticket sales. That's the secret, essentially, right? Not feeling stressed or like you have to make the sale. People love to buy, but they hate being sold. So the most important thing when you sell high ticket stuff is just to be relaxed and be confident in what you do, essentially. And in the beginning, it can be very easy to be stressed or feeling lost or being scared about doing sales because you don't know how to do it, essentially. But in this module, we're going to lay out everything for you, and we're going to help you with everything from A to Z, so that when you actually get your first sales call, you will not be that scared. You will not be that uncomfortable. You will rather be very comfortable and pumped doing that sales call because you will know exactly what to do. And the pitch deck is one of the easiest and best things you can use in the beginning, and it's one of the most powerful things you can use forever in your agency. It's super duper powerful. But the main goal with this module, in the Sales Authority module, is just to get you comfortable with high ticket sales, right? So how we're going to do that is, first of all, is to help you to get a proven and repeatable sales process in place for your agency that you can follow on every single sales call. This removes a lot of the nervousness in the beginning and go forward as well, knowing what to do and when to do it, what to say, when to say it, and how to close clients with predictability. Because a common mistake is that you're constantly changing out your sales process and your sales technique, essentially. But what I want you to have, and what I'm going to help you with, is just to have a proven and repeatable sales process that you can just do over and over again. You can work out or basically train on the sales process before your sales call as well, so that you become super comfortable with it, essentially, right? The next thing is just to showcase value and build trust. This is like the main goal when you do sales and when you talk to prospects. It's just to showcase your value, what you can help them with, that you can solve their problems and help them to go from their current situation to their desired situation, and build a lot of trust as well. So this is really the cornerstone when it comes to sales. Everything goes back to value. And we've been talking about this over and over and over again in this program, and we're going to reiterate it in this video again, but everything goes back to value. Everything goes back to what you're selling to whom. If you have something that you're selling to somebody who really wants that thing or needs that thing, it's going to be very easy to do sales. If you're trying to sell something that nobody wants, it's going to be super hard. So people don't buy because they like you, they buy because they're selfish, right? They see value in what you have to sell and they believe that they will benefit them. It gives them value. That's why they buy. And just go back and think back to yourself. Why did you buy a certain thing? Why did you buy like a certain t-shirt or an iPhone? You didn't buy an iPhone because you want to be kind to Apple, right? You don't really care about Apple. You bought the iPhone because it helps you. It gives you some social status. You think it's the best phone out there. It fits into your other tech ecosystem with your computer and all of that. So you're buying because it benefits you, not because you want to help somebody else, right? So everything goes back to value, and people are buying because they're selfish, because they want to benefit themselves or their business essentially, right? So they're taking their hard-earned money because they want to, and they basically invest it because they want to improve themselves. So they buy stuff, right? So 3 to 5 clients, right? This is also the goal, right? The goal is to get you 3 to 5 clients paying you between $2,000 to $3,500 per month. And our main goal is still to get you to $10,000 per month in 90 days or less with this course. It's closer than you think right now as well, and we're going to go through the math here in just a second. So don't give up, right? Like, just improve every single day. And I know that I'm throwing a lot of things at you and there's a lot of information to take in, but basically just do your best. If you're getting overwhelmed in a video, just take a step back, go and take a walk or something, go back to the computer, rewatch the video, sleep on it, and then go through the video again the next day. You don't have to rush it, right? You don't have to do everything in one day. You can rush slowly, right? Just improve 1% every single day and you're going to get there. Just don't give up. And you're so close right now to get your first client or your 3 or 5 first clients paying you $2,000 to $3,500 per month. If you've gone through module 1, 2, and 3, and now you're here at module number 4, and you're going to start to learn about those sales techniques that I'm going to teach you about, you're this close. So you don't even know how close you are. So let's go over the math, right? So we talked about this in module number 3 as well. But what I recommend that you do is to use the new way, right, to generate clients, and you have your organic tracking sheet. And you should already have started now to do your organic outreach. If you haven't, then go back and implement everything in module number 3 again and start to do your outreach. And what I recommend that you do is to send 25 personalized new messages every single day. And if you do that 6 days a week, so Monday through Saturday, and this will take you approximately maybe 2 or max 3 hours per day. I'm sure you can do it in 1.5 hours or maybe even less than that as well. Over time, you're gonna get quicker and you're gonna have a process and you're gonna become more efficient and so forth. But I recommend doing this 6 days a week. So Monday through Saturday, and then you can have Sundays off essentially. So 25 messages, Monday through Saturday. You do this for 90 days or for 12 weeks. That means that after 12 weeks or after 90 days essentially, you will have sent 1,800 personalized messages, like custom personalized messages, and then on top of that follow-ups as well, obviously. But you've started 1,800 new messages or conversations with people, right? Now let's just play with the idea that just 20% out of those messages actually respond. Not saying that they're interested, but they're somewhat interested and they appreciate you be like following or reaching out to them with a personalized message. This number can be a lot higher, but just let's count with 20%. So that sums up to like 360 leads that actually responded to you and actually responded back and started a conversation, right? And let's say that 10% out of those just book a call. Just 10%. 1 out of 10 out of those leads actually book a call with you just to learn some more. In my opinion, it's going to be a little bit higher than that, but let's say it's 10%. And then let's say you close 20. So you have a 20% closing rate. That means that you're gonna close 7 clients. And you can easily have a 20% closing ratio, probably like closer to 25, 30, potentially even right out of the gate with everything that I'm going to teach you here in this module essentially. But let's say you have 10. Let's say you're horrible at sales in the beginning, which is completely fine. But still, if you're horrible and you're only closing 10%, you will still get 3 clients or maybe even 4 clients. And then you're still at $10,000 per month, right? But let's say you close 20%. That means that you will have $14,000 to $24,500 per month in monthly recurring revenue, depending on how much you charge per client, right? If you charge $2,000, it's going to be $14,000 per month. If you charge $3,000 or $3,500 per month, it will be close to $25,000 per month. So you can do this in 90 days if you just do the work. Because here's the thing, if you just implement and follow everything in this course and you just dumb yourself down and you don't think too much. Just go through module 1, get everything set up, go through module number 2, set your niche, your service and your offer, find a media buyer. Okay, good, now I have that. Then you start module number 3, you just put up a plan. Okay, I'm going to reach out to 25 new people every single day. It will take 1 to 3 hours every single day. It's not going to be super duper fun in the beginning, but over time, when you start to get responses and people start to book calls with you, it's going to become fun. But you have to do the work, right? And then you start to get calls, and in the beginning, you might not be the best at doing the calls, but after 10, 15 calls, you're going to become better and better and better. And maybe you prepare your sales pitch and you prepare your pitch deck and your spin questions, everything that you're going to do in this module. And then let's say you start to closing 15 or 10 or maybe even 20%. Then after 90 days, in just 90 days, you will have an SMMA generating at least $14,000 to almost $25,000 per month, maybe even more. So you can change your life with this, but you have to implement it. You have to do the work. If you don't, nothing is going to happen in your life, right? So financial freedom is closer to you than you think right now. You will be able to provide for yourself, quit your job, do whatever you want to, save up to your apartment or whatever that might be, provide for your family and for your loved ones as well. Quit that job, more freedom, be able to travel, work from anywhere. Like it's this close to you if you just implement everything that I teach you in this free course, right? And you will also be able to give back to others. And this is something that I want to talk more about as people start to progress through this course. But everything goes back to like be able to help people. If you're an entrepreneur, the more you help people, the more you get back. The more you give, the more you get. It's like a universal law who's just out there. It's just how it works. The more people you can impact and help, the more you're going to give back. And just take it from me, right? Why do you think that I'm doing this course completely for free? Why do you think I want to have an impact on the world and help as many people as I possibly can? Well, first of all, it's exciting. It's super duper exciting, but I also understand that the only way for me to succeed is to help other people to succeed. And that's the mindset that you should have in your agency as well. To be able to provide value for your clients. Again, everything goes back to values and results, but also as you become more successful, try to give back as much as you can to other people. Not only to yourself. First of all, get yourself in order, right? Then help your friends and families. But then after that, you want to spread out because there's so much positive things that we can do in this world. There's so many different problems and so many different people. And when you become a social media marketing agency owner and you run a business that is generating great margins for yourself and you become a better entrepreneur over time and start to generate more money for yourself, you gain power and you can influence, you can use this power to do better. And that's what I want to teach people as well, to use this to do good in the world because the world needs that more than ever right now, right? So give back to others. Just look at like who's the biggest YouTuber on the planet right now. Mr. Beast, for example, right? What does Mr. Beast do? Well, he basically earns a ton of money and he gives everything back. And he gets more money and he gives everything back and it just grows. Just go and listen to a podcast with Mr. Beast. And people predict that he's going to be worth hundreds of billions of dollars in the future. He has his own companies right now and people love him and trust him because he's giving away everything and he just get more and more in return, right? So this is how it works. And this is what you need to start to think about now as well as you're getting closer to actually becoming a successful entrepreneur yourself and getting your first clients and so forth. Give back to others, all right? And don't give up now. Like I know it's going to be hard. That never disappears. It doesn't matter how much money you earn or how successful you are. If you're in the beginning or at the end of your entrepreneurial journey, there will always be hurdles that you have to go through or quote unquote problems that you need to solve. And you will have to become a problem solver. You have to learn how to do this yourself. You can't just ask everybody all the time. You should invest your time and money in learning from other people and so forth. But you also need to take full responsibility for yourself and just like become a problem solver. You need that. You yourself need it to benefit yourself. So don't give up now, right? If you improve just 1% every single day, you will get there. Okay, so now some important things to remember as we go through this module as well, right? Everyone is different and we're talking about sales right now, right? Everyone is different, and because of that, everyone do sales differently as well. So don't try to be somebody else when you do sales. Be yourself, right? And I had the hardest time doing this in the beginning, because you think that you need to be a certain way or have a certain personality type, and you take the personality test and you think you need to change or whatever that might be, right? Just be yourself. I will give you a framework to follow that is proven and predictable, that you can use over and over again. Simply follow that framework and just add your own style to it. Just add your own personal touch to it. Just be yourself, essentially. Talk like you talk, laugh like you laugh, smile like you smile. Simply be yourself and just relax. If you're an introvert like myself, I'm an introvert as well. Don't think that you need to be an extrovert to be the best salesperson in the world. A lot of the most successful salespeople, earning the most money, having the highest closing ratios in the entire world, they're not extroverts. They're super introverts, but they use those talents to connect with people. So just be yourself, right? And it's okay to be nervous as well when you do sales, especially in the beginning. Everyone is nervous in the beginning. It's 100% normal, right? Simply accept it and learn from it and lean into it. It disappears over time, right? You will be able to reiterate your sales process in your sleep, essentially, as you get better at this. So, and let me tell you about the story of my first sales call as well. So on my first sales call, I was so nervous, and it was one of the top 100 biggest roofing companies in the US, and this was back in late 2017. And I was so nervous on that call. I had prepared my sales script and I kind of knew what I was going to do. I didn't have a pitch deck back then. I didn't really know about spin or anything of that, but I had kind of a questionnaire that I would go through and kind of had an idea of what to do. So I was somewhat prepared. I had the price, I had my offer in place, etc. I had found my media buyer and all of that. And or actually, I hadn't found my media buyer. That's something that I learned later. I got that client, I couldn't do it myself, and then I found the media buyer. So that's why I recommend that you find the media buyer as soon as you can. But I was so nervous on that sales call. So all of the saliva in my mouth disappeared. And I had no water. So I had such a hard time to talk because I was unconsciously so nervous. And I didn't really understand why, but I was so nervous to be able to talk to this business owner that was super successful. He was super respectful, and he didn't make me nervous or anything. I just became nervous out of the situation. And that's completely fine. I actually closed that first client. I get $3,500 per month, and over time they invested over 3 campaigns with me. So they paid me over $10,500 per month, and I've kept that client for years, right? And I was nervous, but it's okay. I just understood that it's okay. It doesn't really matter. And in the beginning, it's completely okay to be nervous. And if you get everything that I'm going to help you with to implement right now, the pitch deck and so forth, it's going to be a lot easier to do sales calls. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So I don't think you're going to get as nervous as I did, but even if you do, that's completely fine, right? And I did all of my sales calls over the phone previously, and I had a Skype number to call from Sweden to the US, and doing it over Google Meets or Zoom is, in my opinion, a lot easier, especially when you do the pitch deck, because you can lean on the pitch deck, you can share something, and you can take the focus away from yourself onto the screen that you're sharing and kind of show them slides. So yeah, it's going to make a lot more sense as we get there, right? And practice makes perfect as well. So this is a huge hack when it comes to sales. Don't ignore it. So practice it in your head. This is something that you can do. You can visualize it. You can just sit back in your sofa and kind of just visualize how the sales call will go, because when you learn the sales script and the pitch deck as well, you can just play around with the different scenarios in your head. Also, what you can do that is super powerful is just to talk out loud for yourself. So present the pitch deck on your computer and just talk out loud and just kind of visualize in your head that you get a rebuttal or you get a question, and then you just respond to that question. So play around with it. Like, why do you think that high-end athletes are visualizing? Well, because you can play with the future in your head and with your imagination. So when it happens in reality, it's not that big of a deal to you because you've already experienced it in your head already. So doing this and like practicing makes perfect, and you can do it yourself, but also you can practice it with others, right? So yeah, go through the pitch deck for yourself, adjust the pitch deck so that it fits you, and also role play with other members here in the course and in the community as well. So in one of the finals video here in the Sales Authority module, I'm going to talk about like actually help you guys to connect you with somebody else in the community so that you can role play with each other. It's going to be super powerful, right? And also, as you go through and you start to do sales, don't be too hard on yourself, right? And I'm mentioning this because this is something that I would need to hear when I started out, essentially, right? You will get a lot of no's. That's just the way it works. You will get a lot of no's in the beginning. People will ghost you even if they say that they will buy. People will seem super interested and not buy. People will seem super interested, or people will not seem interested at all, and they will buy, right? So just enjoy the ride. Because when you do sales, this is something that you will notice, that there will be a lot of smoke screens in the beginning. And in the beginning, you will not really understand them. Like, people will tell you one thing, they will show interest, and they will not really be interested. And if you're a little bit more experienced salespeople, you will kind of understand that that is a smoke screen. And what I mean by a smoke screen is that they're showing one thing, they're showing you that they're interested, but they're really not. And they're doing that because they might not want to tell you no directly on the call. Maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they just want to like get out of the call quick because they are not that interested, or whatever now might be. So as time goes on, as you become better and better at sales, and as you talk with more people over sales calls, you will start to catch those scenarios easier. And yeah, so my point here is essentially that in the beginning, don't be too hard on yourself. Just like enjoy the ride and just see it as a learning experience for really the first 6 months or the first year. Just see it as a learning experience, because you're still gonna close people. And you know, yeah, don't be too hard on yourself, essentially, right? If you get a no, just know that everybody else doing this are getting a ton of no's. I'm still getting a ton of no's, right? Not everybody that I'm talking to are not buying with me. I'm not like some sales genius master that closes everybody. Those people doesn't exist. So don't compare yourself to some fake image that people are so much better than you. Everybody starts from the ground. There is no born salespeople. And with all of this information that I'm going to give you here in the Sales Authority Week, you're going to be a ninja closer when it comes to selling high-ticket social media marketing services online, right? So just trust the process, essentially, right? Okay. Give it time as well. So you didn't close any of your first 30 sales calls. Well, that's great. Now you're 30 steps closer to your first sales. With that said, you will get your first sales calls within 30 calls guaranteed with this information. I'm so confident to say that if you do everything that I've taught you so far in module number 1, 2, 3, and here in module 4 as well, if you do everything that I've taught you and you get 30 sales calls, like I promise you that you're going to close your first client or your first clients, right? It will almost be impossible to fail. And this will make a lot more sense as we go through this module, essentially. Also important, again, be yourself. Some people think only extroverted people can be great salespeople. That, like, you must be born with it. That's what I thought. My dad, for example, is a salesman, and he's been a salesman for the longest period of time. For his whole life, essentially. He's selling high ticket stuff as well. And he knows spin, and he's been teaching other people about spin as well. Then I'm going to teach you here in this course as well what spin selling is. And he is a very extroverted person. He talks a lot. He can get people to like him very, very easily. So when I started out, I'm more so of an introvert. I'm kind of extroverted. I'm more so of an extroverted introvert, but I'm not as extrovert as he is. I get energy from being for myself a while, and then I can go out to meet people. He's more so getting people or energy from talking to people, right? So I had that idea in my head that a salesperson needs to be like my dad, who can talk, who can be super friendly and super nice all the time. But that's not true. And also my dad if you talk to my dad, he would still tell you that he wasn't born being a salesperson, because you have to learn it. It's a skill, and you have to just be yourself and lean into your own personality traits, because I have personality traits that I was born with that my dad doesn't have. So that's my big benefit, that I can understand people, I can see things in people that he can do as well. For example, certain traits, essentially. So just be yourself and figure those traits out as you go, essentially. Some of the greatest salespeople in the entire world are extreme introverts. It all goes back to value, essentially, right? What you're selling. If you have something of value to sell, it's going to be a lot easier. So what sales is, if we're just going to define what sales is in just very simple terms, it's basically just to identify a problem that somebody or your prospect or that your client wants to solve, essentially. Identify future outcomes that they want to achieve. Showcase that you have a solution for their problem that will take them to their desired outcome. And it's also a lot about listening and understanding. It's not so much about talking over people and being aggressive and an alpha on the sales call, where you kind of, where you get people to like force people to buy from you. Sales is not that at all. It's more so of just understanding you. So let's say I'm trying to sell something to you. First of all, I'm going to listen to you. I am going to try to understand you, and I'm going to take notes and remember what you've told me, because I want to identify what your problem is, and I also want to understand what you want to get. As you've told me that, then I will reiterate to you, just to showcase to you that I have listened. So I will tell you what you told me essentially. So I will retell the story to you, and by just doing that, automatically you will like me more and you will trust me more, because now you know that I've listened to you, so you will like me because of that. You will also trust that I have a solution for you, because you now know that I understand you and your problems and your desires and what you're looking for, right? So that's like the first step as a salesperson, to listen to people, to understand their problems and showcase to them or prove to them that you understand them, and then also have obviously understand what they're looking for and then present a solution to that. And that's what spin is. And then once you've gone through the spin questions, that's when you present like your pitch deck and so forth. So that is what sales is. It's just listening to people, understand them, identify a problem, identify what they need, and then present a solution, and then present what that is going to cost, have a really good offer, and be a little bit smart about how you present your offer, as we talked about, you know, with things from Alex Hormozi's book that we talked about as well, that you can have, you know, different risk reversals. Also, you can have like a capped amount of clients and so forth, and you can do certain things there. But in its essence, this is just what sales is, like identify problems, listening to people. So what is sales is not. So if we're going to identify what sales not is, that a lot of people think that it is, it's not about being pushy. It's not about being aggressive salesperson. It's not about like talking over people. It's not being the alpha dominant extrovert who's like the big guy in the room who's just going to force you to buy. It's not that at all. It's not telling people what to do, like, hey, you should buy now or this is going to happen. It's none of that. And it's not about talking more than you listen. It's a complete reversal. It's listening more than you talk. Because I can tell you, I've been on a lot of sales calls myself as the seller and as the buyer. And the worst thing that you can experience as a buyer on a sales call is when the salesperson doesn't listen to you. If he does, because it's so frustrating if a salesperson just talks, and you as the buyer don't even get to tell him what you're looking for. It's like if you're going into, let's say, a sport, like a Nike shop, and you're looking for, or just a normal like shoe shop or something, and you're looking for a specific Nike shoe, right? And you go into the shop and the salesperson comes to you, it's like, hey John, let me show you these shoes. Let me show you the new Puma shoes. Let me show you the new Adidas shoes. They're over here. And you're like, hey, I'm actually looking, no, let's go and look at these shoes. And you're like, you're just trying to tell them that you're looking for this specific Nike shoe, but the salesperson isn't even listening to you. It's so frustrating, right? And so if that guy would just meet you and greet you and be super nice to you and just listen to you, hey Max, what are you looking for? Yeah, I'm actually looking for, you know, I don't remember the name. It's this Nike shoe. Okay. Tell me more about it. What does it look like? Why do you want that one? Yeah, and so forth, right? That is such a better experience, right? So it's about listening to people, not talking over people, right? So let's go over this, because I want to hone in this point. So who is the best salesperson? I'm going to show you two different people here. Here we have, on the first side, we have Mr. Charming, right? He's suited up. He looks super professional. He has the perfect smile. He looks really good. He is an extroverted person. He is like super charming. People love him. You know, he can just show up in a room and everybody's going to look at him. He has like the perfect hairstyle. He drives a really cool car, and he's just like an awesome guy, right? Like, everybody loves him essentially. And then to the right, we just have a normal dude, right? He's, 19 years old, maybe 19, 20. He's just not a guy. He's nice. He's not like the best salesperson. He's just like a normal guy. He likes to talk, likes to interact with people. He's kind of laid back. And yeah, so yeah, who's the best salesperson? Like, who do you think is this best salesperson here, right? Most people would say the guy to the left. And that might be true in certain scenarios. And in other scenarios, it might not. So who do you think the best one is? Well, it depends. And why does it depend? Well, let's just say that Mr. Charming here to the left, he is selling a shitty old car. He's selling the shittiest cars that you can find in the world, essentially, right? And the guy to the left, he's selling high-end cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and he has a super niched business where he's selling high-ticket cars to very specific clients. Who do you think is going to be, quote unquote, the best salesperson here? Well, obviously the guy to the right? He might be laid back, he has found his niche, and he's very good in that niche. He understands his customer, and he's not being pushy, and he's not being aggressive. He's having an awesome product, and he can basically just show up to his client and just show what value he's bringing. He can just showcase that, yeah, are you looking, but the buyer's looking for a specific car, and he can just, yeah, I have that car. You can check it here. A lot of people are going to want to talk to the guy to the right because he has something valuable. And the guy to the left, he's going to be Mr. Charming. He can be as aggressive or pushy, used all of the sales techniques in the world trying to sell that shitty car that nobody wants to. And it's going to be impossible. The guy to the right is going to run laps around the guy to the left simply because he has something of value to sell. So again, it all goes back to the value. And I hope this is becoming more clearer and clearer in your head right now. It doesn't matter really how good of a salesperson you are really. It's good to have some templates and some formats in place on kind of how to do sales and know the fundamentals and basics, but everything goes back to what you sell. And again, the guy to the right, he's selling some shitty shoes that nobody wants to buy, and the guy to the right is selling like super high-end shoes that are impossible to get a hold of. I have no idea about sneakers, right? So I don't know what type of sneaker that is, but let's say it's a super high-end sneaker, Nike sneaker, that is like almost impossible to get a hold of. Like the guy to the right is going to send a lot more than the guy to the left, even if he is not Mr. Charming or like suited up or anything like that, right? So again, it all goes back to what you sell, your product or your service, the value that you provide. If you're, so the salesperson should just be communicator. It's like, okay, you have this problem. Well, I have this solution for you that is super valuable. You just showcase to the client why it is valuable, and then you just ask them if they want to buy. And if you have something that they really want to, the sale is going to be very easy. If you have something that they don't want to buy, or that they already have, or it isn't unique, they're not going to want to buy it. And maybe if you like are super push in or do some sales techniques, maybe you will get some sales. But it's only when you have something of value that you can just run laps around everybody else. It's not about like the skill, it's about the product and the value, right? So literally you can like suck at sales and still sell if you have something that people truly want to buy, essentially, that people truly want. You can be like the worst salesman. You can be be super comfortable, and you can listen to them and kind of suck at sales and do pretty much everything wrong in the book that you can make. But if you have something that people truly want to buy, they're gonna be like, hey Max, let's just skip the sales call. Can I just give you my credit card and just buy this thing? Right? So if you're looking for a secret hack when it comes to sales, if you're like looking for like that thing that's gonna make you a super genius salesperson, this is it. It's the value that you're selling. It's product that you're selling or the service that you're selling. And if you have that, or if you are getting closer and closer to that with your SNMA, if you've done your due diligence right now and done your research up until this point, you should have made your calculated guess by now. And kind of, I see opportunity here. If you have that, and you combine that with everything that I'm going to teach you now in module number 4, when we talk about sales authority, you're gonna crush it. Okay, so now let's summarize this video. First of all, remember the goal and the math, right? So you're closer than you think right now to personal freedom. If you give this your absolute best right now over the next 90 days, for example, sending those 25 personalized messages a day, you will succeed. So just go get it, right? And also, sales is all about value. You will have a better, easier, and more fun experience if you focus on selling something that people truly want and need. Selling something that people don't want is almost impossible, and you're gonna be frustrated and angry, right? So don't do that. And then also embrace it. Embrace this journey, right? So you will get a lot of people telling you no, and it will be because of thousands of different reasons, right? They might tell you no, even though they're super interested and see the value and potential. And if you remembered the story about Gio when he reached out to me, I still bought from him. But I was kind of tough to get a call with because it wasn't the best timing when I reached out the first time. But as I followed up, it became a better time. We jumped on a call and I bought from him. So again, the timing might not be right. So just accept that, embrace it, and work through it essentially. A quitter never wins and a winner never quits. All right. So If you enjoyed this course so far, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram as well for important updates regarding the course. Share the course. I need you guys' help. So let's start a revolution and change people's lives together. Just talk around with people that you know about this course. If somebody can benefit from this, just tell them about this course and that you're going through it and where to find it. And till today's quote from Michael Jordan: "You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them." And this is so true. Because, and this is something we're going to talk a little bit more about in module number 5, when we talk about performance 10x, and like mindset and like believing in yourself and confidence as well. And this is becoming more and more important now when we do sales as well. Don't do negative self-talk. Like, if there's anybody in the world who should think highly of you and talk positively about you, it should be yourself. Because if you're trying to achieve big things and you're talking yourself down all the time, like, what are you doing? It's so, like, you have to start to learn how to control yourself and your own thoughts and think highly of yourself. So you must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. And that's from Michael Jordan. That's not from me. And he was pretty good at what he did, right? So take his word for it. So that's it for this introduction video on the Sales Authority module. I hope that you're pumped about it. I'm super pumped about and just be able to share everything that I know and everything that I've learned so far on my journey about sales. And I'm sure, I know 100% that if you implement all of this that I'm teaching you in this entire course and implement it, you're gonna change your life, make a ton of money for yourself, and you're gonna be so happy that you took action on this. So now let's get to work, and I will see you in the next video.